lost her in the fall. He took her to a movie, and when they done it all.
Hello and welcome to the Fabulous Picture Show. I'm Amanda Palmer. This week at the Everyman Cinema Club, we're showing the Australian drama Home Song Stories. Joining us is writer-director Tony Ayres. His autobiographical film stars the superb Joan Chen as his Shanghai nightclub singer mother who uproots the family to 1970s Australia but can never quite settle down. Also coming up, we review Joan Chen's other film, Lust Caution, which she's too afraid to show her mother.
I'd have a heart attack.
He's blind, he's 87 years old, and he's Sudan's most prolific filmmaker. And a new documentary tracks down hijacker Leila Khaled, last seen over 30 years ago, doing this. So how do you follow an Academy Award for Best Picture? Well, if you're Taiwanese director Ang Lee, you find yourself another emotionally complex and erotically charged script, you head to China and you make a 2.5-hour film in Mandarin. And guess what? It's great. Based on the short novel by Eileen Chang, Lust Caution is set during Japan's wartime occupation of China. It's about an innocent young actress recruited by the resistance to seduce an important collaborator. But the lines become blurred when emotions are stirred, and Ang presents it with unflinching sensuality. The film won Venice's top prize, the Golden Lion, at this year's film festival. But strangely, many of the reviews have been less than flattering.
I'm baffled and even a little scandalised by the poor reviews that Ang Lee's Lust Caution appears to be getting. I'm always very suspicious when media reviewers describe a sexually explicit film as boring. Action!
Though reserved and thoughtful, exuding the air of a plain-spoken intellectual, the Taiwanese Ang has successfully defied taboo before.
Tell you what, we could have had a good life together. Real good life. Had us a place of our own. But you didn't want it, Ennis. So what we got now is Brokeback Mountain.
Brokeback Mountain won Ang an Academy Award for Best Director, but it didn't win Best Picture. Some say because of its depiction of a love affair between two cowboys. Ang's Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon won 4 Academy Awards and was the most successful foreign language film ever released in the US. Ang's latest cultural trespass concerns the erotic content of Lust Caution. In America, the film received the dreaded rating of NC-17, or adults only. You certainly caught controversy with your interest in these sorts of subjects, don't you?
I think so. That's what I do. I'm a filmmaker.
I know that you've often said that every film of yours has repression as its underlying theme. And I guess this is one of those. You haven't given up on that theme, have you? This is deeply,
No, I
deeply
haven't get
repressive.
that one after another get out of my chest, but it hasn't totally get out of my system.
Tang Wei, in her film debut, is radiant as the Virgin Spy, Wang Chi-chi.
你又约了人，不然把车子打翻了。上来坐坐，喝杯茶。
Wang is forced to overcome her repressed nature and submit herself, body and eventually soul, to the enemy. You had to put a lot of trust in this man. I mean, this is the beginning of your career. How did you trust somebody with the level of explicit scenes that you were involved in?
There is one moment I can't forget. When he felt I'm not very good, he poured a tea to me and go on talking. But I remember that.
He poured you tea?
Yeah, poured tea for me. Yeah.
Wang's co-star is Tony Leung, one of Hong Kong's most famous faces. Working with Ang Lee, of course. I mean, this man is a legend in his own lifetime. How did he direct you on those scenes?
He is very well prepared. He gives you everything you can think of. Reference, books about history, about your character, and even paintings. He just told me that no matter what I'm trying to do, but I'm a wolf.
Your biggest film in America, as we know, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, It was very acrobatic. I mean, this one we can argue it's very acrobatic as well in its own way. Not giving anything away.
Well, the more repressed, the more you feel the need to push the envelope, I suppose.
But for Joan Chen, who plays Tony Leung's long-suffering wife, there's just one problem with all this envelope pushing. Has Mother seen the film?
No, my mother. No, I don't know whether she should. She'd be shocked. She'd have a heart attack.
In 1969, a Palestinian named Leila Khaled became the first woman to hijack a plane. A year later, she went on and hijacked another. Well, a new documentary tells her story.
If it does good for my cause, I'll be happy to accept that.
At 24 years old, Leila Khaled hijacked a plane to Damascus. She released all the passengers unharmed and then blew up the plane. She then disappeared, but a year later...
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. This is your new captain speaking. The Che Guevara Commando Unit of the Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine, which has taken over command of this flight.
But this time, Leila was captured. Within a month, however, she was sprung from her British jail cell in exchange for hostages.
And Leila Khaled walked away free to take her place in Palestinian history.
Leila's audacious, decisive actions captivated the international media, enthralled Palestinians worldwide, and established her as an icon, a female Che Guevara. Filmmaker Lina Makbul, then a Palestinian child growing up in Sweden, saw Khaled as her hero. Now a 63-year-old mother of two living in Amman, Jordan, Leila has barely spoken to the Western media for more than 30 years. Leila Khaled Hijacker is Makbul's personal journey to meet the recluse.
بدي أقابل يوري بارليف اللي كان يسوق الطيارة الثانية العال طيارة العال وهو قال لي إنه هو يعني مش مبين إنه بحبك كتير.
They do say it's hard to meet your heroes because they often disappoint you.
Yeah, it's a very tough one.
Were you slightly disappointed? Or did she fulfill something you didn't expect?
She did. I don't want to say that she did disappoint me, but it seemed that she's still living in her past.
You know Leila Khaled, she is terrorist.
I thought that she would have said that maybe it wasn't such a good idea to hijack those planes.
I got a sense of it sometimes that maybe you were hoping that she would be repentant, and she's unrepentant.
Maybe I was hoping, but today I'm glad that she didn't say it, because I also respect her, because she's very much, I did this and I will never ever regret what I did.
كنا مضطرين لفعل ما ندق فيه جرس للعالم ونقول لهم احنا شعب عنده قضية. لما طلعنا خطفنا طيارات، كل العالم سأل مين هدول.
Do you believe her when she says that she never intended on killing civilians? Because we do know that the front has been responsible for civilian death.
Yes, honestly I do, because we talked a lot about suicide bombings, and she was very much that you shouldn't kill any civilians, and you shouldn't kill yourself in the struggle. Then why do you struggle if you're going to be dead?
هلا الواحد بيقدر يقول عنك إن أنت إرهابية؟
أعدائنا بيقولوا عن أي مقاومة شعب إنه عمل إرهاب.
And I gather you put to her that she was possibly an inspiration for September 11. She condemns that sort of action, doesn't she?
Yes, she don't get 9/11 because she doesn't understand why they did it. Because when they hijacked planes, they had a mission. They were saying that we have to do this because no one were talking about the Palestinian issue. They just wanted to make the world see them.
He took her to a movie.
1 hour ago, blast
bombs at an American compound in Saudi Arabia. More than 100 people dead.
And FBI investigators are the only ones who can hunt down the evildoers.
We don't do it in 36 hours, we can forget it.
Evidence goes cold.
Starring Jamie Foxx and Jennifer Garner, The Kingdom plays like CSI Riyadh.
From the craters, looks like they used a high-explosive Semtex or C4.
There's lots of suitably bad and evil terrorists, and plenty of the finest Hollywood action.
They have taken your man hostage.
In part 2, we're screening the Australian drama, The Home Sung Stories, directed and written by Tony Ayres. Now, Tony, there you are. You
Yep.
cute little thing. This is your autobiography,
Yeah, it's based on a year in my life.
which is very exposing thing to do, Tony.
Yeah, I guess so. I feel like you know, often I feel at screenings like I forgot to wear my pants or something.
He's got his pants on.
Yeah.
We'll see the film in part 2.
He met her in